Comrades, at the beginning of this year, I thank you.
And this is the Cult Doctor once again. Today we're going to cover the last days. I'm going to give you some scriptures. In Matthew 24, we get an extensive list of what the end times will look like. One of the first one it gives us is false Christ. Many people will claim to be the Savior and fool crowds. This can also be Christ means Messiah or anointed one. You'll see many people claiming to be anointed ones. Well, you see that all the time in the Word of Faith and NAR movements. Religious deception. Again, you have more religious deception going on in the deliverance movement, extreme deliverance movements, Word of Faith, the New Apostolic Reformation, and the Presbyterians, the liberal Lutherans, the Methodists have all gone into a complete apostasy, affirming the most immoral sexual immorality you can imagine, mutilation of children and the LGBTQ agenda. It's horrendous. So these are some of the big signs of the end times. Lawlessness, which of course crime and sin will increase everywhere. Of course, we're seeing lawlessness. People thinking it's nothing to go shoplifting and robbing. Many of the major Democratic controlled cities saying if you don't steal 1,000, we're not even going to come after you. The love of many growing cold. You see that. You see children not loving their parents, not caring about other human beings, parents not loving their children. You see them even killing each other. And people drive by the homeless. They just have no concern. It's just like Lazarus and the rich man. The rich man would pass by Lazarus every day. And sorry about that background noise. I don't know what that was over there. And he didn't help Lazarus. And then all of a sudden he was in hell. And Abraham said, now Lazarus is comforted, but you were in torment. Disobedient to parents, and that's what we see, a breakdown of their obedience. Lovers of pleasure, a society that will chase fun rather than goodness. And that's all we see now. How many people are on porn sites and vile things on the internet and watching it on television? Mockers, people laughing at the God's return. I just was speaking to somebody, and the Lord, it's been 2,000 years, he hasn't come yet. And I tried to explain to him what I said in one of the last videos, that with the Lord, as Peter said, 1,000 years is a day, and a day is as 1,000 years. It's only been 2 days for the Lord. The loss of truth. They will reject clear facts and moral standards. That's what people say. You have a Supreme Court justice. Can you define a woman? Well, no. Well, genetics, DNA, our chromosome shows you XY is a male, XX is a female. It's not that hard. It's the science. But they reject that. A global mindset. You see in a large portion of the world, now, President Trump has kind of halted the United States. He has been making us, in his 2 terms, nationalistic. Before that, there was a push, as there is, especially in Western Europe, globalism. They want a one world government. Europe became the United States of Europe, in effect. And they would like a North American free trade arrangement where Mexico, United States, and Canada are one. Okay, also wars, large battles between nations. We see that the Iran conflict, the Ukraine-Russian conflict, but there's so many other conflicts, Myanmar, Sudan, Somalia, Libya, and they don't even bring these out in the press any longer. And far more people, you see Gaza with Israel, and Israel attacking Iran and Lebanon, but they're always constantly harping on Gaza, yet in Sudan and Nigeria, hundreds of thousands of Christians have been killed. They don't even bring it up because they have a bigotry, and we're going to mention that in a minute. There's also rumors of wars, constant fear, where one of them is China will take Taiwan, we'll go and fight against Taiwan, and North Korea. I can go on and on, just constant rumors. It says kingdom against kingdom, and in it, the Greek is saying ethnic group against ethnic group, and now we're seeing that. Ethnicities just rising up. When Yugoslavia, which had held together under Tito, broke after the communism fell, the people reverted back to the old hatreds. Croatia, Slovenia, Macedonia, Bosnia Herzegovina, Montenegro, Serbia. They all start killing each other wholesale. So ethnic groups all around the world. Hostility toward Israel. Oh, what a shock. Last 5 years, anti-Semitism. People, I have no problem coming right out, and it's racism. I remember the civil rights movement in the 60s that we fought for. People have no problem just coming out saying just to annihilate and the Jews. It's beyond belief. Natural disasters and famines. And we're seeing just severe shortages, gigantic floods, storms. New Orleans, not that long ago, was just wiped off the map. And people say, well, we've always had these things. Well, in Matthew 24, it says, these will be like birth pains. They will start slow. You'll see some birth pains, a few earthquakes, a few great storms, a few this, a few that. But over the centuries, they'll become more and more just like birth pains. And then near the end, they'll be becoming so severe. Do I have to remind people? I think it was about 12 years ago, the tsunami that wiped out 250,000 people in Southeast Asia. 250,000. So that's part of it. And pestilences, great plagues. Can I say COVID? Great plagues breaking out. And it's not the only. We have Ebola right now breaking out in Africa. Earthquakes, we're seeing all over the place, even in New Jersey. I never used to hear this stuff in New Jersey. The last 10 years, I've been all the time. Signs in the heavens, persecution. Of course, Christians are being persecuted because we hold the old standards that people have held for thousands of years. We have sexual morals, but those have been jettisoned, and they expect us to line up with the new thinking on that. Betrayals, friends and family turning against believers, and that's true also. Global witness of the gospel, and just nowadays with the internet, and everybody has a phone in their hand. Even, I've been on every continent except Antarctica, and even in Africa, in the poorest areas, everybody has these cheap little cell phones, and they can go on the internet, and they all get the gospel. Michael Youssef and others, good brother, watch his broadcast. He has these little small pocket things that they can pick up and have the gospel right there. So the gospel being preached everywhere. One of the other signs that was particularly important was that the Bible predicted Israel would be regathered. Now, the importance of that to us is we're used to it, but the Old Testament said that the Lord would punish them for their unbelief and killing of the Messiah. So they would be scattered all around the world, and that they'd be in all these different nations, but they would never assimilate into those nations. They would always be looked upon as Jews, and that's true. Spain threw them out at one point during Christopher Columbus period. The French persecuted them, the Germans, the Holocaust, but Eastern Europe had pogroms, and Russia also. They've never assimilated. And he said in the last days, they'd be regathered back to Israel. Well, they were. Here they are. They're regathered. It also said that they would restore the Hebrew language. Well, the Hebrew language is back. The only group of people ever to restore an ancient language back. So, but it also said that the temple would be rebuilt. There's all these plans now to rebuild the temple next to the mosque that's on the Temple Mount. All these prophecies about Israel are coming to pass. Knowledge would increase. That was Prophet Daniel spoke about that. And look at it. We're looking at it, just not the web, but artificial intelligence. And people are afraid of that. Just the other day, there was a news article how artificial intelligence was being tested, given a problem. It broke out of the confines of its test, hacked another website, and started getting up to no good. It was people they were terrorized. They shut it down. Moral darkness, society mirroring the corrupt way of Noah's day. It was said, the scripture says that in the end days, it would be like the days of Noah, days of Noah, and that's what we're finding. Divine restraint lifted. God's going to say, look, I lifted my hands from restraining you. You want to be heathens? You want to go down this road? Go for it. Another thing is Jesus will suddenly appear. People will be shocked. It says in the New International Version, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3, mark this. There will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its power, and that would be the Presbyterians, the Methodists, and the Lutherans. So that's it for today. Those are the signs of the last days. I believe we're living in the last hours of the last days. So if you're not right with the Lord, if you're not right with Jesus, it's time to get right. You can say it's just, Romans tells us, if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, your boss, your king, and you believe in your heart he rose from the dead, you shall be saved. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved. call on them if you haven't. If you need prayer requests, you can contact me at my email at cultdoctor@netzero.com, or go to Facebook, type Cult Doctor, you'll reach me there. I'm a part of about 6 or 7 prayer groups, and there's thousands of people praying. God still heals. I'm a biblical continuationist. I believe in the gifts, but I don't believe in the rampant insanity that's going on in much of the Pentecostal and charismatic world these days. Having said that, I just pray that you have a godly day on this weekend, on this Saturday. Have a good day. I'm going to have the end of the, and watch my brother John Elving. He's doing some good work lately. He's on there all the time. I love him. He can be funny, and he's quite thorough. And there's others, I just did a broadcast the other day that named every one of the discernment ministries I follow. Have a great day.